Pocahontas Matoka, the daughter of the Noma Nowiski and Powhatan, the ruler of the Powhatan tribe, was born sometime around 1595 near present-day Jamestown, Virginia. She was named Amanu at birth, but later gained the nickname Pocahontas, meaning playful one, because of her bubbly personality.
Although she had so-called luxuries because of her father's importance, she still had to learn the basic skills women were required to know, such as farming, cooking, and making clothing. So besides the fact that she was a princess, her childhood was pretty normal. In May of 1607, the first English settlers came to Jamestown.
Why they wanted to kill John Smith is rather just because of the English versus the American Indian long debate throughout history.
What are you doing to him?
Give me a reason not to.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yes, thank you. Really, thank you.
Relationships between the colonists and the Indians remained. In 1609, drought, starvation, and disease had struck the land. Colonists were dependent on the Powhatan to survive. Pocahontas is the only peacekeeper they held.
I demand you share your stuff with us! You have done nothing but invading acts towards my people. I demand you share your stuff with us! Wait, I suggest a barter. Maybe a less dangerous approach to this.
The negotiations eventually collapsed. Despite Pocahontas' efforts, so the chief planned an ambush on Smith, and yet again Pocahontas saves John Smith's life.
Captain, may I speak to you?
Yes, of course. What is it?
It was told to Chief Powhatan and Pocahontas that as Smith returned to England after being injured, he passed. Despite the movie, John Smith is not Pocahontas' one love.
Pocahontas avoided the English, but until around 1613, she was kidnapped and captured during the First Anglo-Powhatan War.
Not release her under any circumstances.
This is my daughter we're talking about. You're probably not even related to any of the people that I have captured.
Release my people.
Unfortunately, the chief only released half of the captured English, leaving her imprisoned. While in captivity, Pocahontas learned how to speak English, about English culture, and Christianity. She converted and was baptized, given the name Rebecca. Also during her imprisonment, she meets John Rolfe, a widow and a tobacco planter.
Pocahontas and John Rolfe fell in love and soon married for both love and political purpose in April 1614. It was considered a large step towards final peace between Indians and colonists. 1 year later, she gave birth to their son, Thomas.
In 1616, Sir Thomas Dale sailed to England to promote financial help for the Virginia Company. The company was also promoting conversion to Catholicism, so Rolfe, Pocahontas, and baby Thomas, as well as several other Powhatan members, accompanied the trip. While arriving in England, Pocahontas encounters Captain Smith, who was not dead after all, despite the rumors she and her father had heard, so overcome with emotion, even calling him father.
Also while on their trip was a painting of her dressed in all fancy clothing with an engraved label. It so happens it is the only image drawn of her in person. The label says, Matoaka, alas Rebecca, daughter of the most powerful prince of the Powhatan Empire of Virginia. In March 1617, they set sail and headed back home from Virginia.
Although they had hardly made progress, Pocahontas became very ill, and they were taken ashore. It is uncertain what made her ill. Some think it was tuberculosis, smallpox, pneumonia, or even poisoning.
She was buried on March 21, 1617, at St. George Church, located in Gravesend, England, where they were taken ashore. Rolfe returned to Virginia, but Thomas was given to other family in England. Thomas returned to England 2 decades later to gain his father's inheritance before he died. Pocahontas is remembered as a courageous, peacekeeping, strong woman who left an unforgettable impression on colonial America.